some of the past mistakes that I've made in my life and how I corrected those, which led to the life that I now have. I will say this, I'm a Christian. I don't live a perfect life. I serve a perfect God. I'm married. I've been married for going on 11 years now. I have two children. I've got a great job and I love my life. I really do. I didn't always feel that way about life. I used to be anxious. I used to feel down a lot. I used to feel like I wasn't enough. I used to feel like I had to be more. I used to feel like I always needed the next best thing or something to satisfy me. And even if I went and worked out at the gym, I was never satisfied with the way that I looked. I always wanted to be stronger, be leaner, be bigger, be more aesthetic, whatever it may be. But so much changed. So I want to share a few mistakes that I have made in my life. And my hope is that you would take that and that you would consider it in your life so that you don't make the same mistakes. And know that if you are making mistakes in your life, which you are because you're a human being, there's grace. And the greatest thing that you can do is just to make a decision here and now, today, to change. And sometimes change is really hard, but we can do it step by step, day at a time. And even greater, we can invite God into our lives. So I pray that God would bless you and He would just speak to you in this moment. So I'm 32 years old. I told you I've been married for near 11 years. I have two kids. When I look back on my life, um, and I'm very satisfied with my life, I'm very grateful. I don't have all the money in the world. Would I like to have more money? Sure, and I'm working on that. But I realized that one first mistake that I had made is believing that more money was going to bring me happiness. And don't get me wrong, having more money creates a lot of opportunity and opens up a lot of doors and allows you to do a lot of fun things. And if stewarded properly, having a lot more money can give you a lot less, take away a lot less stress in your life. If not stewarded properly, that money can be blown on just all these fleeting pleasures of this life, material items you don't need, which leads to more stress. For an example, you might make $100,000 a year, and maybe you buy a $250,000 home, and so bills are tight because you got to pay for that. Well, all of a sudden, you get a nice pay raise. You make $200,000. What do? You buy a $450,000 home. Well, you're just as broke as you were. Why? Because you bought too much house. So I'm not going to give you financial advice because I'm not even that great with money. Hey, good morning. It's nice to see you. Hello. Good to see you. So here's another thing. So one of those I say is money. Understanding that money. I'm doing great. Thanks. Appreciate you joining. Um, understanding that money is not going to ultimately bring you happiness. If you have to seek for fulfillment in something that's much greater than money. I believe that that is found in God. But money can be a great thing. Another mistake that I have made in my life is being impulsive and acting on my impulses, whether that was things that I thought I needed, like purchases I made, or like if there was something I wanted to happen in my life, I didn't trust God with it enough to just to trust the process and wait. Hey, thank you so much. And so that's a big issue that a lot of people face is that we want something to happen and we're not patient enough. And patience is hard. We're not patient enough. And so we go out and we're like, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. And ultimately, you might be able to make something happen. Then what ends up happening is because you rushed something, you didn't wait. It wasn't the right timing. And so when you finally got that specific thing you wanted, maybe it was an actual material item or it was a job or whatnot, you found out it wasn't the right timing and it couldn't fulfill you. So in that same thing of being impulsive and rushing, Another mistake that I have made was just believing that if there was an opportunity that I wanted, I was going to go out and make it happen, or if there was something that was going to happen, I would just get there, even if it caused me to rush. And I've talked about this in the other lives that I've done, is that this idea of just rushing around constantly. We do that here because we're all multitasking 24/7. But the big problem with that is we weren't made to be rushing. And my belief is that if you have to rush to get somewhere, you're obviously doing something wrong. I was chronically late all the time to basically everything. And until I married someone who wasn't chronically late, um, uh, yeah, dragging. If you're running chronically, you're chronically late. You're dragging. You're doing all these things. The change that you need to make is you need to create more margin in your life. And when I created more margin in my life was significantly better, like significantly better. And the reason why is because when you don't create margin in your life, um, when you don't create margin in your life, what you end up doing is you're saying that everything is urgent. Like everything is urgent, meaning I'm driving to the grocery store, but I also have somewhere else to be after that. So I'm gonna rush to the grocery store, and then all of a sudden there's a lot more traffic, and so now I'm stressed out because I'm sitting at a red light and I gotta be somewhere, and I also gotta go to the grocery, and I've got to make dinner, and then I've got to go do whatever it is. You shouldn't live that way, and if you're living that way, you're causing yourself unnecessary stress, which wears on you. And I pretty much, it's rare now that I do anything rushing like that. Um, when you look at the life of Jesus, you don't see Jesus was rushing, like ever. He was never rushing. In the scriptures, even when his friend was dying, he didn't rush to get there. He knew even if his friend would die, he'd raise him from the dead. And so we're to do the same thing. Another mistake I made is I've had so many cars in my life, and I'm not over here saying I've had some crazy nice cars. I have had some really nice cars, but I've had so many cars in my life, and honestly, if I would have just relaxed and been content with one or two of those, I would have saved so much money, just tons of money. And I think the biggest thing that I've been learning in my life is to stay consistent and trust God with your life. Trust the process. Because if you do that, then everything in life is so much more enjoyable. And this life is not it doesn't it becomes more than just your happiness and your joy. And I know that sounds strange because I'm talking about these mistakes I've made, how I changed those, and then how it ultimately led to me having um, a wonderful life that I do. It doesn't mean I don't go through hard times. I certainly do. But even in the midst of the hard times in my life, I really love my life. I really enjoy my life, and I think it's because of these things that I've done and I've implemented in my life that have certainly changed me and changed my heart. And I invited God a while back to, and still do every day, to change my heart. There's a scripture that says, you know, seek me and search my heart, God. Whatever is unclean in me, like pull it out of me. Do some work on me and help me through this life so that I can, I don't have to hold on to unnecessary things. Hey there, appreciate you. It's good to see you. Um, so yeah, those are a few things. I'll tell you, another thing I would say a while back. I got married when I was 21 years old. Not a mistake. One of the best things I ever did. It was the best thing I ever did. And but like I was in a few relationships prior to that I didn't need to be in. There's no reason to. And just encourage people that may be watching this. Is like, don't give your heart to just anybody. Trust God with that as well. Trust that the Lord will bring the right person, the right spouse to you, the right boyfriend, the right girlfriend at the right time, and that God will help you to be the person that you need to be for them. So my encouragement to you is, in this life, the sooner that you invite God into your life, into your situation, and you say, "Here, I give you control. Help me, help me to live a life um, that's not rushing, that's not impulsive, that's content, but always working hard. Not to please, not to just like not working hard just for the sake of working hard, but working hard because it's good to put your hand to something and your mind to something. And go and do that. Go and find yourself someone that you can build a life with and do that. Get married, work on yourself, have children, enjoy it every second of it because it is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful life. And God will bless you and He will move in your life and do wonderful things. So, hope that helps you. Anyways, let's see what we got. Well, when people wrote that they used to work on their own stuff, now they work for the state. Yeah, yeah, there's truth for that. You know, my hope for y'all is that you would go and you'd have a great day, and that perhaps if I could encourage you in any way, it would be that you would leave this morning, or if it's evening wherever you're at. Where I'm at, it's 6:15 a.m. About to go in the gym. My hope for you is that you would leave this now. And if you're not having a great day, or if you feel like you don't have much purpose in life, or if you feel like, you're just kind of stuck, or life's just a bit mundane, that your eyes would be open to see God's working hand in your life, and you'd allow Him to do more of that. And perhaps you can just remind yourself that a lot of the mundane things in life, the boring things, the things that don't seem so exciting, those are actually some of the greatest things in life. They're some of the greatest gifts, and even in the slow moments of life, God can do some wonderful things through you. So I hope that you have a good day and know that you are loved and you are cared for. I'm gonna go work out. I'll see ya. And if you get a chance, subscribe,